let's get into the 4th of July, the hot dog eating contest, Nathan's, the importance of this day. Now, Fester, did you watch on ESPN? It was on ESPN News. So it was on, because you have ESPN 1, 2, 3. Yeah. The women's hot dog eating contest, that was on ESPN 3, which I don't have on my cable system. I have to stream that, but I do have, I have access, so we had to stream it. So Michelle and I watched the hot dog eating contest for women, and do you realize?
I think she has a tie here.
The winner is local.
Right.
The female winner is local.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Miki Sudo. Miki Sudo, they moved from up north to the Tampa Bay area. Miki Sudo and her husband is also a competitive eater. Her husband is Nick Wehry, Wehry, and they live in the Tampa Bay area. So the female competitive eating champ and the winner of the women's Nathan's hot dog eating contest yesterday, they live right here in the Tampa Bay area. 36 years old. Last year, she had to sit out because she was pregnant.
Okay.
This year, she was able to shove down 40 hot dogs and buns.
Yeah, but she's won a lot of them.
Yeah, from 2014 to 2020, she's won every year.
Miki Sudo. I sent an email to them yesterday, but I'm sure they're inundated. Let me see if they wrote me back, because I said, hey, can you guys come on the program?
How do you
yeah, hold on a minute. Yeah, they wrote me back.
How do you have the email?
Yeah, because they have a website.
Yeah.
They have a website. I went to their website because her husband is a competitive eater as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a husband and wife team, and Mickey wrote me back. I wrote yesterday, and I said, hey, guys, MJ here from the MJ Morning Show on Q105 in Tampa Bay. Can you come on the show? And she just wrote back, hey, MJ, we're pretty packed with media this morning, but we can call if we have a break. Would that work?
Absolutely.
Yes, hang on. Yes. All right, call.
I'm looking at her resume of things she won. It's incredible.
Yeah, I feel bad for her husband that she's the big winner in the family, and
he's all jealous.
He loves it. He's like,
I wish I could eat like you.
She finished third in a pie eating contest, a meat pie eating contest, a birthday
she probably knows about the meat sweats.
Birthday cake, a chili contest.
Yeah, but they're doing tons. They're doing tons of TV today. I'm sure they're on like some of the national TV morning shows. But congratulations again, Miki Sudo, now a Tampa Bay resident with her husband, and she just won the women. Now, on the men's side...
You know where she lives in the Bay Area?
They live in Temple Terrace.
Oh, I was going to say Dunedin.
No.
Eating? Dunedin?
I don't get it.
Though.
Yeah, we're not done eating.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's not too many jokes I can make with... Never mind.
You know what it takes to be a competitive eater? Like, you have to train so much. You have to train to make your stomach bloat out. You have to train your jaw. I mean, don't think it's not a sport. It is.
Yeah, I've always thought these guys were amazing athletes. Joey Chestnut.
He seriously is.
Listen, Joey Chestnut is the finest athlete in the world.
He looks it.
I mean, Froggy, who's the greatest athlete in the world? I mean, my favorite athlete, Shaq, right?
Larry Bird.
Yeah, Larry Bird. Put 10 hot dogs in front of Larry Bird. What is he going to do? He's going to cry. Michael Jordan, your buddy. What's your buddy Jeter? Listen, put just a 6 hot dogs in front of Derek Jeter, and he's like, can't do it, dude. Can't do it.
What could Joey Chestnut do with a basketball or a baseball?
Eat it. Eat the whole damn thing.
Let me tell you what the significance is of the 4th of July and the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Now, in our family, in the MJ, Michelle, Todd Schnitt, Michelle Schnitt, what is the significance of the 4th of July?
I know.
What is it?
It's the birth of one of your youngins.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, Chloe's an August baby. Chloe's coming up on 21, which is unbelievable, next month. And July 4th, though, is Julian's birthday. Julian was born on the 4th of July. And remember the story? Remember, I went over to... Let me get Michelle.
I remember the story where you specifically procreated like around Thanksgiving time to have the... No, I don't remember the story. What story?
I was in West Palm because my grandmother had hip surgery. I was over in West Palm Beach when Michelle went into labor. She wasn't due until like the 11th or 12th.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle.
Yes.
We're talking about 4th of July and Julian and Joey Chestnut and all that and the significance. All right, so Michelle, back to you. And, of course, the significance of the 4th of July is Julian, our youngest, our son, was born on the 4th. And yesterday, folks, Julian had his 18th birthday.
Aw.
And, Michelle, we had this conversation yesterday because we also sent a text to the OBGYN who delivered Julian. And, you know, he became a little bit of a friend of ours. He's retired now, but the great retired, enjoying life, Dr. Nick Falieris. Dr. Falieris delivered Julian. And Falieris, he was a big fan of the MJ Morning Show, right, Michelle? He listened all the time.
He was. He listened, and so, and he got to know us a little bit.
Yeah. He would actually play crotchety calls in the surgery room.
Oh, thank God you've answered. So we even texted Dr. Falieris yesterday and said, hey, 18 years ago, thank you. And he's a great doc, enjoying retirement. So, Michelle, the story was my grandmother was having hip surgery, and I flew over to West Palm, and you dropped me off at the airport. And July 4th back in 2004 was a Sunday. And you dropped me off, I think, on what, Saturday morning?
Yep.
Saturday morning, I'm flying over to West. That's when Southwest had a great, convenient Tampa to West Palm flight, which I don't think they have anymore. And I took the flight over. And what was our conversation in the car as you were dropping me off at Tampa International on July 3rd of 2004?
No, I'm just like, don't let anything happen.
No, but our conversation was something like, the baby's not due until what? Was it July 12th?
July 11th.
11th. So Julian's due date was July 11th, and I think I said something like, "All right, just hang on, don't have the baby while I'm gone." And what was your thought after you dropped me off?
Oh, then literally the second I dropped you off and pulled out of the Tampa airport, I was like, oh no. Here it comes.
Didn't you feel you felt something different the minute you dropped me off, right?
It was just so, something in my, torso area. I was like, oof, I think this isn't going to work out too well.
Well, I go over to West Palm to see my grandmother. She had hip surgery, and you called me on my cell. Was it 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I knew that night I was in labor. Remember, I called their little, hotline.
And this was at St. Joe's Women's, right?
No, you call your OBGYN.
Oh, you call the OBGYN.
Yeah,
oh,
the
okay.
answering service.
Yep.
And it was a doctor that I hadn't met yet because, he was new, and so, you're supposed to meet all the doctors. And they're like, well, you could be in labor, but you maybe not. And so, you come in and, they give you like the whole thing, and I was like, And I said, okay, well, when does the next doctor come on? They said, oh, Dr. Falieris will be on tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I go, okay, I'm just going to go to bed, cross my legs, and hope for the best.
Right. And then didn't you call me like at 3 or 4 in the morning saying, I'm in labor, I'm going to the hospital?
Well, I didn't go at 3 or 4 in the morning. I was in labor. I knew it. And then I just got up the next morning and...
But you called me like at 4 in the morning, didn't you?
Yes, because I knew I was in labor.
Right. And then you drove yourself to the hospital in labor.
Yes.
That's amazing.
She drove herself to the hospital.
Yeah.
With Chloe, with that big camera, some video camera that you were like, don't forget to bring the video camera.
So do you remember
I was
the
like,
camera?
Oh my gosh.
All right. So Michelle, so you have the baby. MJ gets back, right? Where was Chloe when you were in delivery?
So I took Chloe to the hospital with me, and thank goodness we had some dear friends, Beth Schatzberg, and Cole was one of Chloe's little buddies back then. And I was like, listen, my mom's not here yet. I know this is really awkward, but can you please come and get Chloe for the day? Because I think I'm going to have the second baby. So she did. And
they picked up Chloe at St. Joe's Women's, yeah.
They picked her up and kept her for a couple of days for me while we had Julian, and then my mom got here, and then she was able to come home again.
So here's the deal. I get the call at 4 a.m. and I try to figure out when the next Southwest flight is. I don't know whether I went online or whether I just called Southwest. I was able to get on, it was like a 9:30 flight or something. It was the first flight from West Palm back to Tampa.
You could have drove here faster.
Well, I didn't have a car.
You could have rented a car. You could have stolen it. You could have bought a car.
You could have hitchhiked.
So I call Southwest. I get on the next flight. It was like, I think it was 9 o'clock, 9:30 flight from West Palm to Tampa. Get on the flight, and I told the flight attendant, hey, my wife is having a baby. She's in labor right now. And the flight, because I was like near the back of the plane. And I'm like, oh, geez, I got to wait for the whole plane to unload. I told the flight attendant, and I said, hey, my wife is having a baby. I need to rush to the hospital. She's in labor. And the flight attendant on Southwest, she made an announcement, ladies and gentlemen, one of our passengers is a soon-to-be father. His wife's in labor. Could everyone please remain seated and let this gentleman off the airplane? And everybody stayed seated, and I ran off the plane. I had just a little carry overnight bag, so I don't check luggage anyway. So I ran to the taxi stand. I can't remember whether it was United or Yellow, but I ran to the taxi stand and I said, St. Joseph's Women's Hospital, and step on it.
Oh my God! What are you in a rom-com?
Yeah, like some awful movie.
So he actually drove pretty fast. We get to St. Joe's, and I can't remember, was I in touch with you on the cell phone, Michelle, while I was like coming to the hospital?
I don't remember. I think I was already kind of getting some drugs right.
So I get to St. Joe's, and they're waiting for me, and they escort me back to the room in the back. It was one of the I think it was the nice suite. It was the nicest room, and they escort me to the back there, and then I got there. I think I got there at like 11 o'clock or something, and you gave birth to Julian in the 2 o'clock hour, right?
Yep.
So I think I got there with 3 hours to spare. But here's the deal. The significance of July 4th, and how the hell does the Nathan's hot dog eating contest work into this story?
Yeah.
I couldn't take my eyes off the TV. We had it on in the delivery room. So
Sure.
we were, while Michelle was in labor, we're watching the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on TV back in 2004.
It's every July 4th at noon. Yeah. It's an hour long, usually closer to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just an hour before Julian pops.
So the contestants were pushing the dogs into their mouth, and Michelle was pushing Julian out.
There you go. That's a great visual.
Was Chestnut?
Thank you for nothing, Roxanne. That's disgusting. Oh my God. Oh. So when did Chloe meet Julie? Was it the next day or was it later that
It's not
day?
Julie. It's Julian.
What did I say?
You said Julie.
Whatever.
My son is Julian, not Julie.
When did Chloe meet her brother, Julian?
I think we brought him home because she stayed a couple days with her friend.
So MJ calls me, right?
And Chloe was 3.
Okay, MJ calls me. And remember that big camera?
Not yet.
Okay. He says, Michelle just gave birth. So, of course, what am I going to do? I think, that must mean he wants me to visit his wife who just gave birth. So I get to your room, Michelle, right? And there you are, and you're holding Julian, right? And MJ doesn't know I'm there. And you and I are talking for a couple of minutes, right? And it's very awkward in complete hindsight that you just gave birth.
Hold on, but I was there. I had already come back.
You went and got Chloe, and you come walking in with the camera.
Oh.
The big camera on his shoulder to catch this prized family treasure of a moment of the daughter meeting her brother for the first time, and there's this 340-pound man just sitting in the corner, and MJ just looks up and gives me a glare like, oh crap.
The hell are you doing
and he
here?
stands right in front of me the whole time because he doesn't want this video ruined by the eclipse of me in the shot. So
that's so funny. I do have a vague recollection of you down there.
That's right.
Why do you got to ruin everything?
Everything I have to. He's like, I didn't mean for you to come down. I'm like, why the hell did you tell me then? Wait, what? Michelle gave birth. Okay, I'll be there in 15 minutes.
But every 4th of July with the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, It always reminds me of the birth of Julian because we were watching the damn contest an hour before Julian was delivered.
Yeah.
Who won that year?
I
Can you
have
look
no-
up in the archives?
What year was it?
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi won that
Oh,
year.
yeah, that's
It
right.
was 2004.
Kobayashi years.
Yeah,
He was the champ for a while, huh?
All right.
Yeah.
2004. Anyway, so Joey Chestnut, he did win yesterday,
He did.
and Joey scarfed down 63 dogs in 10 minutes. This was his 15th title, but he was not able to score his best. His highest count for downing these dogs is 76. So he did 76 dogs previously. This year he only did 63 dogs, but also Fester, Joey Chestnut, he had a lot of things going on here.
Yeah, this has been a tough year for the guy, and his number is down. He was
What's the
hoping
matter with
Well,
him?
He had a lot going on specifically yesterday.
Hang on a minute. First of all, he lost his mother. He had surgery on his foot. The guy's walking around in a surgery boot. And then in the middle of the contest, one of these PETA animal protesters jumps onto the stage. Right. This is folks, this is crazy.
Awesome.
There was an animal rights protester with a Darth Vader mask on that got right up next to Joey Chestnut holding a sign that said "Expose Smithfield Death Star."
Yeah, he's with the Direct Action Everywhere Animal Rights Group.
Thank you, Roxanne, for being very specific on which group he's with.
Well, I wanted to be specific.
He's not with PETA.
Right,
He's
exactly.
wearing a Darth Vader mask, and he's holding up a sign, "Expose Smithfield Death Star." And obviously they're complaining about what, Smithfield Foods?
The delicious Smithfield foods, yes.
Does Smithfield make the Nathan's Franks? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, so the animal rights protesters decide that they're going to protest. There were like 3 of them that were arrested, apparently, 3. But the one got right next to Joey Chestnut while he's eating his 17th hot dog. Joey Chestnut grabs the guy by the neck and puts him in a headlock while he's shoving hot dogs in his face.
That's
Pretty
awesome.
awesome.
It's unbelievable. So Joey Chestnut, in the middle of the contest, he's got to put a chokehold on a protester that he doesn't know what this guy's going to do. He doesn't know if the guy's dangerous. He doesn't know if the guy's armed.
He's right.
And Chestnut puts the guy in a headlock, put him in the sleeper. and then, cops took him away. But unbelievable. And then also that George, what's his name?
Okay.
George Shea.
George Shea, he's the announcer.
He's like the president of the competitive eating league.
So George Shea, he's the announcer, and he's the guy wearing that
Stupid hat.
that I don't know,
straw hat or
that straw, whatever it is. And
He's dressed up like old Coney Island
yeah,
times.
the old Carnival Barker hat.
but he's also the guy that does the crazy intros. Like he'll introduce the contestants, and he'll be like, "He was raised by a pack of penguins in Antarctica, and he survived sucking the marrow out of seal bones." I mean, he makes up the craziest things for the contestants. And you've heard his intros, right?
Yeah, he's a nut.
All right, so let me just take a guess here. All right, listen to this.
They say that competitive eating is the battleground upon which God and Lucifer wage war for our souls, my friends.
This is him.
They are right.
All right.
For this is a battle of the ages, a battle of the titans, the early gods who come to Earth only once in only one location, and that is right here at the corner of Surf and Stillwell Avenues in Coney Island. For only one purpose, and that is the Nathan's famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest. We arrive at our destination by the sum of all our paths and the unswerving punctuality of chance. So it is, and so it always shall be. Let the contest begin!
This guy's crazy. So he's actually the president of the Competitive Eating Association, whatever they call it.
Yeah, I think he was like the founder of it. He's the one that organized it. And they have like 60, 70 events they sanction a year.
So he does this crazy intro for all of the contestants. And then he gets to Joey Chestnut.
There will be a day that is the end. The collapse of time and all that stood within it. A day of nothing, of no one, of nowhere. But that day is not today.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Today we burn bright. Today we blind the earth with our desire. And while it is still ours,
This goes on for a minute and a half more as he introduces Joey Chestnut, the reigning champion.
This guy's just making up as he goes.
He's got to have that scripted. That's pretty
Yeah.
good for off
You
the
know
cuff.
what? I saw a pic. Somebody took a Twitter picture and posted it. His cue cards were left on the ground. So somebody took a picture of the big, giant white poster boards with his cue cards. So somebody is turning the cue cards for him in the crowd. And because it looks like he's
They've got like reminders on
Yeah.
the cue cards,
Yeah.
just bullet points.
Yeah.
He's winging it,
Yeah.
but it's reminders to stay on track.
That's crazy stuff. And Joey Chestnut won while putting a protester in a headlock.
He's a badass.
That's great.
You know, and the cameras weren't on it. You had to see other video to see the protester because the ESPN cameras were not on Joey Chestnut when the protester, I guess they avoided it.
So
Yeah.
ESPN has a policy not to put on a streaker,
Right.
or somebody who runs onto the field during an NFL football game. I guess they have the same policy during the hot dog eating contest. If you want to attack it,
It seems so. Anyway, Joey Chestnut won. Big day for him. And listen, he went in, obviously a tough year. Broken surgery on his foot, and his mother died, and he
Still eating like a champ.
And but he didn't get close though. He had 63 versus his record of 76.
he didn't break
Yeah.
the world record, didn't even come close, but still.
You know what I was thinking?
What?
So the woman who won, what was her name again?
Her name
Who's
is
from-
she's Mickey Sudo, and they're from
In
the Tampa
Tampa.
Bay area. They live in Temple Terrace.
Right. So Mickey, she had her baby last year. She was pregnant last year. That's why she couldn't do it. I bet she had a good advantage because your stomach gets so big from being pregnant, and then you can consume more. It's stretched out. You can consume
know.
more.
I don't think the baby's actually in the stomach. I think the
No,
baby
no,
might
the
be in
baby's-
something called the womb.
I
Right,
had
but
my
your-
wounds in the
But your
stomach.
stomach itself, the volume here stretches
Hold on,
out.
Michelle, are you laughing?
Yeah, so you
Michelle's still
stop
there?
explaining.
Michelle, Mickey
Right?
Sudo had her innards rearranged so the hot dog goes straight to her womb.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that, MJ. I didn't know the baby was in the womb. I thought it was just in my stomach.
You're the one
I
that
actually
said
thought pancreas first, but thank you for
Right.
clarifying that.
Exactly. As if I can't
Wait, are you angry at me?
No, like I don't know my body parts. I think I do.
You're the one that said stomach.
I'm speaking of it as a whole, like your stomach
Yes.
muscles.
All right.
It's like when I said Europe.
Also, because you do eat more when you're pregnant. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, because you're feeding two, eating for two. Do you remember that theory?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got you, Roxanne. Yeah.
Thank you.
But ladies and gentlemen, breaking news, calling in on the hotline is female competitive eating champ Mickey Sudo. Mickey, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
And Mickey, you are now a Tampa Bay resident.
I am. So my fiance and I, Square, who also competes on the guys' side, we moved to Tampa about a year and a half ago, so it's been home for us.
Right, and your husband, his name is Nick. Is it Weary? Weary? How do you say his last name?
Weary, hard
Yep.
E.
All right, so Mickey Sudo, she is the female champ who just won the female Nathan's Competitive Hot Dog Eating Championship up at Coney Island in Brooklyn yesterday. First of all, Mickey, congratulations on your victory.
Oh, thank you so much. It had been way too long since I ate hot dogs in front of a crowd. 2020, we had the social event. 2021, I was 37 weeks pregnant, so I was a commentator, not a competitor.
Right, and that's important. Last year, Mickey was not there because Mickey was pregnant with child, and now your baby is what, just almost one?
Almost a year old. He was born on July 8th, right after the
Oh my!
event.
So
man.
the baby was born 4 days after the. Baby was born 4 days after the hot dog eating contest last year.
Yep. We had just gotten back to Tampa.
Did you name the baby Nathan?
No, he's named Maxwell.
Oh.
So Max, actually after where Nick and I met.
That's fantastic. Now, where are you guys from? Where did you move from to then move to the Tampa Bay area?
So we actually moved from Connecticut, Northwest Connecticut, down to Tampa Bay. We lived all over the place. She was in Vegas before that. I was in New York before that. But right now we're in Tampa, and we're happy to call home.
That's fantastic. So that is Nick. Nick Weary is Mickey's husband, and they're both competitive eaters. Rox, you got a question?
Yeah, so what do you guys do to train for this? And you obviously probably train together.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky with a baby now. So one person will eat hot dogs for 10 minutes, and then we'll switch off to watch the baby. But, we just practice like you play, but it's so much more than just practicing, which is great for, technique, but conditioning is a lot of it, too. So we'll work out together and just dial everything in so that we're our best on the floor.
That's fantastic. And then, Nick, I saw where you are the manager of the Todd Adult Couple Center up in Newport Richey or Port Richey, right?
Port Richey, yeah, Todd Couple Superstore up in Port Richey.
Up on, my wife saw this because Michelle, my wife, she read an article and she said, hey, they moved to Tampa. They live in Temple Terrace. And you do live in Temple Terrace, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a heck of a drive from Temple Terrace to Port Richey. Why didn't you find a place up near there?
So originally I was working at the Tampa Todd location, the original. And then when I got promoted and took over the Port Richey location, we're looking probably to move closer to Port Richey now, just so that drive is a bit of a doozy, doing that 5-6 days a week.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a hell of a haul. So my wife, Michelle, Michelle wanted me to ask you, what is the number one selling item at the Todd Couple Superstore on US 19 in Port Richey?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'd probably have to say one of the supplements. One of them maybe Infinity 10K, or there's one we have called Boner Bears.
Yeah,
Boner Bears.
Boner Bears are really good. They work.
That's that's the men. For the women's, maybe the kangaroo for women gummy. But either one of you guys get those, or you get the matching set, you're gonna have a good day or two.
Gotcha. Hey, so what did you think? Did you guys see Joey Chestnut put the protester in a headlock in the middle of the competition?
So yeah, I'm the guy in the mohawk right next to Chestnut.
Oh, right.
So yeah, he kind of bumped into me. I thought he was somebody replacing hot dogs because they kind of have to shove you out of the way to put the hot dogs on the table. And then when I saw Joey go full Ken Shamrock on him and throw him to the ground, I realized it wasn't. And then you see liquid go everywhere. Those are my dunking cups that spilled all over the table.
Oh wow!
So I dunked my buns in. So I only had about 2 cups to work with for about 8 minutes instead of the normal 8 cups, which was irritating. But I just kept telling myself, "Like, you're a professional. Don't freak out. Everything's fine. Don't put the boots to that guy. Just go back to work."
All right, now Nick, you were right next to Joey Chestnut, and again, folks, this is a competitive eating duo. This is a couple, and of course, Mickey won the female hot dog eating. How many, Nick, did you put away? How many dogs did you do?
So I did 40 as well. We actually, technically, her and I tied.
Wow.
I ended up 4th in the men's division, 1 behind James Webb, the new guy from Australia. So it was a solid day. A little frustrating not being able to have my dunking liquid after a minute and a half. So it kind of probably slowed me down the rest of the competition. But that is what it is. Joey was able to recover. I'm looking forward to next year. I got 364 more days to fix it next year.
Right, and Mickey, you were a little disappointed. You wanted to do more than 40. What was your goal?
Yeah, so my personal best is 48 and a half. I just figured why stop at 49 when 50 is right around the corner.
Yep.
And I had a really great practice just 10 days before the event. I'm leaner than I've been in most years. I'm healthy. I feel great.
So in the practice, how many were you able to eat in the practice session?
So I only cooked up 45 for myself, and I actually ran out before the 10 minutes was up. So I just thought, I've got this, even with my wrist injury.
So what do you think slowed you down? And listen, you won with 40, and listen, you won. That's the most important thing. But personally, you wanted to hit 50. What do you think it was? What slowed you down, and why couldn't you do another 10?
Yeah, honestly, it felt like we were eating different hot dogs. There's something, I don't know, but I can't blame it on anything really. Maybe the buns had dried out a little bit more because when the sun hits them for a long time, they turn into almost croutons, and,
Right.
and when they don't absorb liquid the same way that they should. But I don't know. The numbers were just low across the board. So I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe I'll have to go back and rewatch some tape.
Yeah, because, Joey Chestnut, he did 63, and he didn't come close to his record of 76.
No.
So,
I understand he has a leg injury, but across the board, Jeff Esper was down. Nick was down. Basically, everybody's numbers were lower than in years past. So,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I really don't think it was the weather so much. People are saying it was hot. I think it was maybe lack of humidity, but honestly, something about the hot dogs just felt a little bit like maybe they're using a new recipe, which they've done in the past, I believe.
well, folks, thank you for phoning in, Mickey and Nick. I know you guys are slammed this morning doing media. You were just on the Today Show, right?
Yeah, and so was our son, Max. It was so much
Aw.
fun.
That's great.
Hey, well, listen,
Congratulations.
we'd love to meet you guys. We'd love to have you guys into the studio here at Q105 when you're back in Tampa Bay, okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Please stay in touch. We'd love to, come down.
All right, thanks, guys, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
All
awesome.
right, bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, so there we
They're
go.
adorable.
Aren't they great?
Mhm.
So I sent an email yesterday. They have a website. They have a competitive eating website. And after Mickey won the women's hot dog eating contest up at Nathan's in Coney Island, and then Nick was also in the men's, and he was next to Joey Chestnut. He's the guy with the mohawk. And I sent an email. I said, hey, guys, MJ Morning Show, Q105 Tampa Bay, would love to have you on the show. And this morning, I told you they responded about 7 a.m. I read the email that, hey, we're really jammed up with media today. We'll try to call in. What's the number? Gave them the hotline. Hey, by the way, I don't know if it was, I think their hookup at wherever they were, I think the phone hookup was a little lousy, but I think our warm line, Andrew, also has a little bit of a hum to it as well. So I think we got the phone line was not the best, but I think everyone can understand them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I could hear everything. Maybe they were on a speakerphone because both of them were chiming in.
Yeah. But I sent an email and they said, hey, we'll try to call in. And look at that. They called in. That's fantastic. So
Don't they feel like kind of sick the next day?
you mean like bloated?
Or do they reversal it? I don't know what I can't imagine they feel great.
You know,
They
that-
sounded chipper.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it
Froggy,
is.
why didn't you jump in with the question? Why didn't you ask, hey, do you guys digest this stuff
Well,
normally?
it just sort
or
of hit me now. I'm like, oh, God, they sounded so like good. I'm like, I would be like, hey guys, how's it going? My stomach.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I
meat
wish
sweats.
you
We
would.
talked about it earlier.
Yeah, I wish you. Oh, and the meat. Why didn't you guys bring up?
gosh,
I
we're
forgot
just-
about the
We
meat sweats.
panicked.
Listen, when we get him in studio, I'm sure we'll talk to him again pretty soon.
We never had a real celebrity on like that.
I'm about to
I
say,
froze.
Is this the biggest star we've ever interviewed on this show? I think it might be.